I was like a scene kid, but also a redneck in a way. Which I think you can't be in Florida without having like the tiniest bit of that. Because what I mean by that is I like never wore shoes if I was at home or if I was in the backyard. And I lived on the beach at one point. My family lived like not on the beach, but we lived on the water, and the backyard was not really dirt so much as it was like dirt and sand. And we had sand spurs in our backyard. And that to me was hell, because in the front yard, our driveway that took up pretty much the whole front of our front yard was this like crushed shells. So you couldn't walk on that because that fucking hurt. And then you couldn't walk in the backyard because it was sand spurs, which are like, I don't know if they have them here. Sand spurs. Do they have them here? Pure Florida sand spurs. I'll show you what they look like. So they look like this. And then they get stuck in your feet like this. And they fucking suck, dude. They're awful. And then they start off like this. And they still fucking hurt. I understand your pain. My dogs come in covered in spurs occasionally. These suck, dude. Like, in my backyard that was sort of on the beach, it was just this. And then it was like, if we didn't mow the lawn, they would grow super fast. And then I think even when you mow the lawn, it just sort of then spreads them. So then they're everywhere instead. Aussie bindies. These, I think Florida is softcore Australia. There is such a weird culture shock of going from softcore Australia-lite to the UK, because in Florida I had to deal with if you don't like insects, do not look. I wonder if this makes me sick to look at too, because these are, I've talked about them before, because I fucking hate them more than anything. Oh my god. I'm trying to find a picture of how big they are, which means that I'm having to look at 1,000 photos of them. So this is a palmetto bug, which is a type of like cockroach. They get this big, they fucking fly, and they're everywhere in Florida. And it doesn't matter if you've got screen doors, whatever, because they come in through the fucking pipes. And then they're huge, and they've got nasty little gross ass legs. And then if you try to kill them, they'll fucking fly at you. And sometimes if you're just like, I'm just gonna leave it alone till it goes away, it will still fly at you. They're smart. Yeah, they eat things. Like, they'll just eat your food. Which pipes? They'll come in through the bathtub pipe. They'll come in through the sink pipe. It was like, it was the worst. And there was one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in my life is, you know, those bath loofah things that you can get that's like a ball and it's on a string and it's like what you wash with. So in Florida, I had one of those in my shower and I grabbed it so that I could wash, and there was one inside of it that started moving as I grabbed it. And I was like, bro, I should just cut off my hand from having to feel that, because it was fucking awful. I hate it, dude. It was horrible. A scrubby towel. Maybe that. Then there was also spiders everywhere. There were small cockroaches everywhere. At my last apartment in Florida, there was a couple times where no matter what I did, there was like just some parts of the apartment were not sealed up all the way. So I would still get like small cockroaches coming in, or the baby versions of those. And then there was times where I'd be sleeping and my neck would itch, or my shoulders, and I'd scratch myself in my sleep, and I would wake up because as I was doing that, I had scratched the baby cockroaches and smushed them on my body and on my fingers. And I just wanted to just leave my existence. As a current renter in Florida, it's rough. Our rental agency is dog shit, but the house is solid enough, so we're lucky. Yeah, I get you, dude. It fucking sucks. So all of those things, right? And then so like, if I was in... When I was living in Florida, if I saw something move out of the corner of my eye, automatically I was like, it's a cockroach. Could be a lizard, but it's probably a cockroach. Or we had fucking wolf spiders or whatever too, which are the spiders that get pretty big. Plus a bunch of other different fucking bugs, but especially cockroaches. Hello, Marshmallow. I like your name too. And then, so if anything moved out of the corner of my eye, I was like, it's a cockroach. I need to get rid of it. Which, the best way, but not the best way, because it's toxic shit, to get rid of them is not Raid, but hairspray. If you spray bugs with hairspray, especially strong hairspray, it's not nice, because they suffocate, I think. But it makes them freeze, too. Because that's what hairspray does. And so, that was like the only thing that I could use against those palmetto bugs that would get rid of them. And then, because there is no way that I'm going to try to kill it with a paper towel. The amount of times that you try to, like, kill a palmetto bug with a paper towel, and it either still lives and then crawls on you, or attaches itself to the paper or flies at you. Awful. And so the culture shock of coming here is there's barely any spiders, and if there are, they're not going to have any sort of venom or anything. They're harmless, and they might just have, it's like daddy long legs or whatever. UK. So in the UK, the worst I've seen is like, here's the bugs I've seen here. Big bumblebees, very cute. Small bees, not so great. Maybe wasp, but not really. Bed bugs. And then small spiders. And those really long leggy spiders. And that's all I've seen here. And flying ants or whatever. And so there's still this silly primal fear that I have, though, where if I'm in my apartment and something moves weirdly, like, let's say a fucking screw, like a black screw, moves on the counter, I'm like, cockroach, and I have sudden fear. And then I go, they don't have big cockroaches here. Small cockroaches I can kind of deal with, but it's gross. Rats, I don't mind. Mice, I don't mind. I've seen a mouse in a flat before. But cockroaches, I fucking hate.